Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Welcome to the TOMA Nation's weekly Sunday worship service. We are an all-inclusive, Black conscious, righteous movement dedicated to the social, economic, and spiritual survival of Black people in urban America. If you enjoy what you see and hear today, the TOMA Nation would like to extend our invitation to you and your family to join us each and every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30, live here on Facebook from Chicago, Illinois. Tune in and be fed by God's messengers. For more information, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. Please join me as I recite our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self-existent, He who directs the sunships of millions of years, and He who made time the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansov, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to Him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America and our Renubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient yet holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now we are going to transition into our 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1, we believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2, we believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3, we believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all Black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a Black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the almighty creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. Number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the creator of the universe under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the Black communities of urban America, to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now please join me as I recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Make sure you're paying attention and your right fist is in a ball raised in the air. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in this future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 millions back of it, whose destiny depends on it, the red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what it's told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right hand in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem.
Rejoicing
Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. Peace, brothers and sisters. Welcome to our TOMA Nation Sunday worship service. Our speaker for today is the co-founder of the Temple of Mercy Association in the TOMA Nation, Minister Omari Jahi Aton, and also founder of Project Resurrection, a plan to resurrect our people from the dead. Please join me in welcoming him as he speaks to us today about his lecture, Is Love Sex or Is Sex Love? Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sister Ebony. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Nation's weekly Sunday worship, I should say, worship service. And we call it worship because we are a people at war, and for some reason we don't want to recognize that we are at war, and we're not fighting and resisting and trying our best to survive this war. And so we have to put on this weekly worship message, or send out, I should say, this weekly worship message, in order that our brothers and sisters accept the reality and kind of wake up to the fact that we are under attack. But before we do all that, let me start off with our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self existing. It is he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and is he who has made time the seed of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or the Egyptians as Amun Ra and Aten. He's known among the Hebrews as Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim. He's known among the Christians as Lord God and Jehovah, and among the Muslim or the Islamic world as Allah, the one God. He's known among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God. And it's to him whom I give reverence, and it's to him whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we are the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, and that we are the lost 13th tribe born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the planet Earth flow through our veins. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, in the languages of our fathers of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Wait, I thank you all for tuning in once again to our Toma Sunday worship. I have to make sure I say that clearly. Worship service. And we our worship service is being held every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays. So we're going to get started. As you all may know, Sister Ebony already shared with you that our title for our lecture today is love sex or is sex love? And the subtopic is, what does God have to say about the matter? And so we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen. All right, let's get to it. I think I'm not seeing it, y'all. Hold on. It's always something with this when you had this PowerPoint stuff. It's always something. We're going to be right with you in a minute. Okay. Cool. Okay, we should be able to get it now. There we are. All right. Again, welcome to the Toma Nation Worship Service. Um, we're going to get right into our subject matter, which again is love sex or is sex love? But before we get into it, I want to share a video with you with some doctors, and I think one of them is a journalist. that are going to give us some information about, you know, this thing called love and lust and and everything, and so that we can really get an understanding as to what this thing really is. I'm going to share this video, and I'm going to come in and out. Well, let me set it up for you a little bit. This video is going to be talking about the differences between love and excuse me, lust. And believe it or not, there's a big difference. Now, the thing is that uh, this video has a lot of things that are very truthful about it in there. And then there's some things in there that is just straight out lies. And I'm gonna point those things out to you, and it's gonna be very obvious, if you're a God-fearing person, that these things are, I mean, totally against God. But here they are, sharing them like this is the best thing that to do. Like this is good for us. So I'm gonna just go ahead with the video, but I'm gonna be popping in and out, kind of identifying those lies that they have put in this video.
Romantic or passionate love, you're going to feel this sense of being addicted to your partner.
People who are madly in love can fall madly in love with somebody who's married, who lives on the other side of the planet, who comes from a different religion, and somehow they'll say to themselves, we'll work it out. We can work this out because of all that energy of intense romantic love.
Over time, as this whole neurotransmitter thing settles out, what's left?
We define romantic love as an intense desire for another with the expectation that it's going to persist into the future. And that distinguishes it from lust, which is generally fleeting, and also from more companionship love, which doesn't have that intensity of desire that you want to possess the other in some way.
Studies have looked at activity in the brain when recalling passionate or romantic love versus, say, maternal love, and finds that different centers definitely are more active. In other words, they put people into the functional MRI and they said, think about your partner, think about your lover, and certain areas lit up, or they said, think about your mom, and different areas lit up, which is important.
Oh, now hold it. Wait a minute, y'all. So what did y'all get out of that? What I just got out of it? It's saying different parts of your brain react to different types of love. So there's a love for your mother, for your children. They call it maternal love. There's a certain love that you have that affects a certain part of your brain. And then they say the other part that you have for your lover or your partner or whatever, it lights up another part of your brain. So there's something different about these two things. And I think God's love has a great deal to do with that first part, dealing with the maternal, the love for children, the love for your parents, things of that nature, the love for your community, the love for your race. These types of love is different from that passionate, physical, sexual love that seems to light up another part of the brain. I just wanted to jump in and kind of identify that, just so we didn't let it go by. Okay. All right. We're going to go back to the video.
Important because different areas are responsible for the release of different neurotransmitters, which then come to affect your future feeling states and future behaviors. During romantic or passionate love, what happens from a neurotransmitter standpoint, those chemicals that are released when you have that particular experience? Dopamine goes up. Dopamine is essentially the neurotransmitter of reward. So it is a neurotransmitter that's released when you have new or novel experience, but particularly experiences that are reinforcing, like gambling, or something that is really addictive, in fact, literally addictive. It's the neurotransmitter, if you snorted cocaine, that is most responsible for Wow, that was great, and I totally want to do it again.
Wow, did y'all hear this? There's a there's a addictive property that's connected to lust or this sexual thing we call love. We call it love, but it's really this physical lust, which is very selfish because it's about personal. What is it called? Uh, uh, Personal gratification or feeling pleasure for self. You know, and so keep listening. I want you all to see the difference between these two things here. Okay.
So that is a neurotransmitter that definitely goes up when you are in the throes of romantic or passionate love. And what does that mean for you? It means that you're going to feel this sense of being addicted to your partner. And in fact, it's also the neurotransmitter that goes up for people who have obsessive compulsive disorder. Does that mean you're going to develop OCD? No. But what it does mean is you're probably going to obsess over your partner. In comes another neurotransmitter that's called serotonin. It is definitely a neurotransmitter that is active for obsessive compulsive disorder, and it means that you're probably, and for depression. Do you become depressed? No, you really don't. But what you do is a feature of depression called rumination. So you think about your partner over and over and over again in this really obsessive manner. And if your partner is separated from you, you're going to have this longing where you're, wanting to be with them, kind of like you'd want to be with a drug if it was taken away from you and you were already addicted to it. There are changes in other neurotransmitters as well. So if you're physically with your partner, the neurotransmitter oxytocin, which is kind of known as the cuddle neurotransmitter, and that makes you feel like warm and snuggly and intensely bonded to this person. It is particularly released following orgasm. So, if you're having sex with your partner and things go well, you're going to feel very attached to them, exceedingly intimate with them, partially because of that neurotransmitter.
Did y'all notice that they use the term partner a lot in this video? They don't use the term husband, wife, married couples, because they are promoting sex without being married, which, whether you know it or not, guess what? That is against God. Sex without marriage. And here they are. They're telling you why we are so crazy, why we stalk our so-called people that we love. Why are we having all these domestic violence? Why? Because this thing, this lust thing that we are experiencing has a very addictive property to it, to the point to where as we go crazy and we do crazy things and we say crazy things and we do crazy things, you know, and if we are not aware of where the source is, then there's no reason to stop it. I'm showing you today, we are showing you today, brothers and sisters, what is the source of the challenge that we're having in our communities in dealing with domestic violence, dealing with violence in general. You know, a person goes out looking for somebody that they have this kind of feeling for, and they see them in a restaurant talking to some the opposite sex or whatever, and they come in with a gun and just start shooting, because they feel like they've been done wrong, and kill up all kind of people in the place, and it comes on the news as some kind of gang affiliated shooting. But a lot of times it ain't gang affiliated. A lot of times it's just crazy people doing crazy things. I'm gonna stop talking. Get back.
There are other neurotransmitters that actually also change. Vasopressin, which has to do with stress level. There's this whole release of neurotransmitters that make you feel, very obsessed, very addicted, thinking constantly about them, very intimately, cuddly attached. and stressed. Actually, it is a stressful condition to some degree to be really into your partner.
One of the problems with early stage intense feelings of romantic love is that it's part of the oldest parts of the brain that become activated. Brain regions linked with drive, with craving, with obsession, with motivation. And in fact, some cognitive regions up in the prefrontal cortex that have evolved much more recently begin to shut down. Brain regions linked with decision making, planning ahead. People who are madly in love can fall madly in love with somebody who's married, who lives on the other side of the planet, who comes from a different religion, and somehow they'll say to themselves, we'll work it out. We can work this out, because of all that energy of intense romantic love and also the shutting down of various brain systems linked with decision making. So one of the things that I say to people is, before you decide to marry somebody, spend a good deal of time with them. So that some of that early stage intense feelings of romantic love can begin to subside, and you can begin to really see what you've got. As a matter of fact, I'm very optimistic about the future of relationships because we're spending so much time now getting to know somebody before we wed. A great many people are having these one-night stands and friends with benefits and living together before they marry. And there was a recent study in which they asked a lot of single people who were living together with somebody, why have they not yet married? And 67% were terrified of divorce, terrified of not only the legal and the financial and the economic, but the personal and social fallout of divorce. And so I began to realize maybe all of this hooking up and friends with benefits and living together is not recklessness. Maybe it's caution. Maybe singles are trying to learn every single thing they can about a potential partner before they tie the knot. And in short, marriage used to be the beginning of a relationship. Now it's the finale. With this slow love process of getting to know somebody very carefully over a long period of time, it's going to help the brain readjust some of these brain regions for decision making. You're going to get to know how this person handles your parents at Christmas or whatever holiday.
In TOMA, we teach our membership that to date we actually have a process that's called dating and courtship. Where if you're a member of TOMA, you can't just bring a different girlfriend to class every week or every 2 weeks or every month. You got a new girl or you got a new man, and that don't fly with us. We believe in dating and courting because that is vitally important to protect us from that lust creates. I'm gonna say that again. Dating without having sex is very important for your and my protection. It protects us against the addictive properties in lust. All right.
How they handle your friends, how they handle their money, how they handle an argument, how they handle getting exercise and their own health and your health, etc. You learn a lot about the person. I think I'm very optimistic. And psychologists will give you a long list of smart ways to sustain that. But I'd like to say what the brain can add. I studied the brain. And the first thing that you want to do is sustain the 3 basic brain systems for mating and reproduction. Sex drive, have sex with the partner, have sex regularly with the partner. If you don't have time, schedule a time to have sex with the partner. Because when you have sex with a partner, you're driving up the testosterone system, so you're going to want to have more sex. But you also have all the cuddling, which is going to drive up the oxytocin system and give you feelings of attachment. And having sex with the person, any kind of stimulation of the genitals drives up the dopamine system and can sustain feelings of romantic love. So basically having sex, and of course there can be good jokes about it and relaxation about it that is good for the body and the mind. So have sex with the person and sustain that brain system of the sex drive. what's going on in the brain in long-term happy partners. We did a study, a brain scanning study of people who were married an average of 21 years. And those people who were married an average of 21 years, who were still madly in love with their partner, showed activity in 3 brain regions. A brain region linked with empathy, a brain region linked with controlling your own emotions, and a brain region linked with what we call positive illusions.
Now, people, did you hear what she just said? She said there's 3 areas that help people with long-lasting relationships. And one of those 3 areas was not sex. I'm going to say that again. For people that are in long-lasting relationships, 21 years or more, she was expressing that there are 3 regions or 3 areas that affect those relationships staying together. So now, if sex or lust is not a property that keeps marriages together, then the opposite has to be true. This lust and desire and that we seem to be experiencing, and the addiction, I have to add to it, for your significant other, as they say. If if this thing turns you into a stalker and turns you into a domestic abuser, then we can see again why that type of activity doesn't last long in relationships. It feels good in the beginning. It feels good when we are participating in it, but at some point, almost just like a drug, you know. I'll give you an example. If a person is addicted to gambling and they go to Las Vegas and they win big, normally, you know what normally happens is that addiction for that rush, that feeling of winning, that addiction keeps you playing until you lose. And then you get depressed because then you think, man, I should have quit while I was ahead. This always happens. Now, I know there's some people that's very strong-willed and they be like, nope, once I win, I quit and take my money and I leave with my winnings. I know there's some people like that. I know some of you are out there that are like that. God bless you. But what I'm talking about here is an addiction. And it's almost like that first hit. You keep chasing that first high that you got, and you never can get it again. You keep chasing that first experience of sexual bliss, whether it was a orgasm or what other. I don't know what the other terms that they use for them. We keep looking in relationships and for that. That's like a drug, a hype. It's like a hype, thirsty, looking for that next hit. That's what our society has become. And out of it comes, I should say, domestic violence. Out of it comes just regular violence. You know, that Negro was looking at my woman crazy. I'ma show him, shoot that Negro in his eye. He ain't gonna look at nobody else woman crazy. That's the craziness that comes with this kind of addictive mentality. Now, of course, I'm gonna play the rest of this, and then we're gonna get into my lecture. This ain't even my lecture. This is like the preamble or the opening to kind of get you warmed up, so you can understand what this thing called love is ain't really what they tell us it is. It's really lust, but we calling it love.
The simple ability, but sometimes hard, to overlook what you don't like about somebody and then focus on what you do. So last but not least, we've now known that if you say several nice things to your partner every day, I would suggest 5, but if you can only pull off 2 or 3, whatever, say nice things to your partner. That actually reduces their cholesterol, reduces their cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and boosts their immune system, but it also boosts yours.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love that last piece. You know, saying nice things about your husband or your wife, or even your girlfriend or your boyfriend. Those things releases stress in the individual that you are complimenting. And I'm not saying that you should lie. See, a lot of times we just make up stuff. You know, oh baby, you look extremely beautiful today. Is that a new hairdo? I'm not saying these things aren't bad to say. I'm saying, but let them be truthful. Say some fine. There's some good things to say about people, or I mean, in general, because people are generally good. Find the good. Tell the person, like, give you an example. My wife is one of the most beautifulest women I've ever met in my life. She would give you the shirt off her back. She is a very beautiful, giving person, and I tell her this. And to say that to her relieves her stress. It takes stress off of her. And believe it or not, by me saying it, and I believe it and I know it to be true, it also relieves me of any stress that I may be experiencing at the time. So, okay, let me see how much time. Oh, we got about an hour, y'all. So we good. We good on time. So let's get into the subject matter now. This thing called love. Let's go for it. Now, now, love, lust. See what we're looking at here, and what we got to begin to accept is that we're talking about polarities. And what is a polarity? Polarity are opposites. Give you an example. On one end of the polarity pole is hot. On the other end of the pole is cold. You see how opposite that is? Hot from cold. One end is good, one end is evil. One end is God, one end is the devil. You see what I'm saying? Lust on the other. Now, the thing, the place where all of this, uh, where these polarities come from, is it's because we don't really understand the human body and the mind. Now, they say that we are God's children, which is true. What part of us is connected to God? Your mind. That's the part that connects with the Creator. That is the good. That is where love comes from. That is where we find all of the good things is that deals with, it comes from God, I should say. That connection is through the mind. Now, the thing that connects on the other side of the polarity is the physical body. The physical body comes from the earth. The physical body was not created by God. It came out of I mean, excuse me, I said that wrong. The physical body came from the earth. The mind comes from God. See the difference? That's the polarity. So, what dominates your thoughts? See, now, when we're dealing with the human body, the connection that the body has with the mind is the heart. This is why, for those that study the energy centers of the body, which are called chakras, you have three energy centers that are the first three, I should call them. They are called the lower chakras, and the fourth chakra is the bridge between the bottom three and the top three. So it's seven chakras altogether. And that fourth chakra, which is the bridge, is called the heart chakra. It's called the heart chakra because in order for you to gain any spiritual understanding, I'm not talking about knowledge, to gain spiritual understanding, you have to cross the bridge and merge the heart with the mind spiritually. Understand what I'm saying? Spiritually. So that your heart now is working with the mind based on your thoughts. So that if my heart is a good heart and it loves people and it cares for people and it wants to do right and it hasn't been giving in to abuse and misuse and people doing you wrong, because when that happens, your heart can wax cold. The Bible talks about that, not letting your heart wax cold. Because if your heart go cold, then those cold unemotional, I should say, signals will be sent to your brain or your thoughts, and you begin to make decisions based on that coldness or that unemotional heart. So this is why the heart working with the brain is so important. But now, what really dominates our thoughts, though? Now, check this out. This is so funny. You know, many of us that that work a 9 to 5 or whatever, and you have coworkers. Now, do you experience anything like this? This sister sitting there looking at this woman and saying in her mind, thinking this. Now she's thinking this. If this woman say another word, I'm gonna. What you think she gonna do? This is not a good thought. Where does this kind of thinking come from? Frustration, stress. Here's another one. To her, I can't do nothing right. This brother just totally stressed out. He don't know. It don't matter what he do. If he do what he think is right, she got a problem with him. If he does what he think is wrong, he got a problem. So he got this damn if I do, damn if I don't kind of mentality. That's stressful. How is he gonna ease that stress? How is this sister over here gonna ease the stress at the workforce with this co-worker stressing her out? And then check out my man Bernie Mac. He says, when you haven't even clocked in yet, and your coworkers are already getting on your nerves. We've all been there. We've been there. And so we know what's going on with this. But how do we kind of identify this stuff and then once we identify it, what do we do with it? Two major sources of negative thinking. There are two major sources. One major source is stress. Stress, headaches, pressure at work, sadness is stressful, depression, stressful. I said headache, and that kind of goes with pain. You have pain, it's all of a sudden you start having back pains, all kind of different pains, arm hurting, migraines, all kind of stuff. That's stressful. You get anxious and anxiety sets in, frustration sets in. You know, this thing creates negative thinking, the stress. Now, don't tell me that you stress free. Please. I go on Facebook every day and I see people posting from a stressful mentality. This don't make no sense. What is all this killing? Why can't we just get along? What's going on? Why can't we just unify? What is it? This is stress. This is stress, brothers and sisters. We all are in it and under it. We wallowing in it every day, all day. And it's affecting the decisions that we make. And we don't even know it is. And you know what the second one is now? Fear. Who wants to admit that they are afraid? You go to work, you're afraid that might be your last day. because the boss is all on your back about this and all on your back about that. Stress and fear kind of go together, though. You're afraid to leave out your house because you're afraid of getting shot. You're afraid to ride the bus because you're afraid of getting shot. You're afraid to go to the park because you're afraid of getting shot. You know, and we make these decisions out of fear. Oh, so my favorite entertainer is performing at the band shell this summer. I ain't going out there. Shoot, I ain't finna get out there and get shot up by accident. This is fear talking. You see? Now, again, I'm not saying that your fears it's not a truthful fear. You know that it is a possibility that you might get shot. It's a possibility that you might get shot if you take the bus. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that you might get shot in your house. Ain't even that stressful and fearful, isn't it? So look, what is your state of mind? What's your state of mind? Are you stressed? Are you fearful? Or both? I would like to ask all of those that are on, if you could put into the comment section, uh, if you're stressed or if you're fearful, put that in. Or if you both, put the word both in. Because until we can recognize, let me say it like this, until we can recognize where we stand in this whole thing and really look at it from a personal perspective. I'm personally stressed out. I'm personally fearful, or one or the other. Then once you can identify it, then you can go to work on it. You go and use what we've been teaching for a minute. You go and reverse engineer that whole stressful experience. Find out where your stress is coming from. Well, if my stress is coming from my job, what are you saying? You think I'm supposed to quit my job? I'm saying that you have to make that decision. Me, I used to work for I'm not gonna say their name because they might want to sue me or something. But I used to work for a health care company, and I was a credentialing coordinator for them back in the 2000s. I think I worked for them for about 4 years, and the stress that they placed on me was just unbearable, to the point where I didn't even know that because of the stress of the job and even the stress of because at that time I had just got married for the first time. That could be stressful. A relationship. I got married, uh, moved into a house, paying bills, this, that, and another. You know, that can be very stressful. Now, this stress, I didn't even realize it was the source of, and then also fear. I can add fear. I can say it was both of them because I was afraid that I wasn't man enough to be the man that my wife wanted and needed me to be. Because a lot of times, you know what they say, fake it till you make it. We fake it a lot of times, all because we are afraid. You see, and and what is the reliever? We saw that video with some white women, right? What was they talking about? They was talking about how this physical sexual expression of love can shut down a part of your brain that deals with rational decision making. And so you might go out after work uh, with friends and get drunk. And you do that enough and start becoming addicted to it. Now, every evening you got to go. At first, it was just on the weekend. Now, every evening you going out to the bar. And then if that starts to wear off, then drugs start to pick in, marijuana, cocaine, crack, heroin, all that stuff become the numbing mechanisms that we use in order that we might not be able to, or I should say, escape all our stresses, escape for a moment all of our fears. See, this is the stuff that we need to really get into so that we can psychologically make a righteous and rational decision about what we should do in our lives. And I'm going to be sharing some things with you real soon, a project that I'm calling Reverse Engineering Auditing. Be on the lookout for that. We're going I'm gonna be teaching about 2 to 3 young ladies that showed an interest in this auditing process, which is a process that we can deal with in order to relieve ourselves of these stressful and fearful thoughts. Just keep that in mind. We're going to be you're going to be hear from it in the near future. Now, look here; these are social issues that crime and violence is that's a stressor for people. Racism is a stressor. War, that's a stressor. Finances, poverty, unemployment, child abuse, domestic violence, women abuse. All of these things are stressors. And this is why our society is a society of pleasure seekers. Pleasure seekers are people that are in pain, suffering, and are in daily need of pleasure to balance out the stress. Because if we didn't balance out the stress in some kind of way, we would probably get into the committing suicide mentality. It would pop up. And a lot of people that do think about committing suicide and do actually commit suicide is because they don't have any way to balance out the stress with some form of pleasure. Now I'm saying that what I'm trying to tell you is that the pleasure that we're using to balance out this stressor adds more stress. I mean, because just think about this. And now this is my opinion. If God did not intend for you and I to have sex as a form of pleasure, and if it was meant for reproduction only, then when we started using it for pleasure, whether we knew it or not, we were going against God. Now, whether we want to accept this or not, the women on the video already showed us how sex turns us into this addictive person or addictive personality that can change into a very ugly and violent personality if it doesn't get what it wants. It's just like a crackhead. You be the one to have crack, and the crackhead know you got it, and you won't share it with them, and you keep it for yourself. What do you think the mentality of that crackhead is going to turn into watching you selfishly get high and not sharing any of that with them, and they want to get high too? When they sneak up behind you with a bat or something to bust you upside your head to get your crack, you see, all of these things, God tried to prepare us. Or well, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. God wanted us not to get involved with it. He knew it was going to be a part of the world. He knew that a lot of emotions came with this flesh. And so he tried to give us some rules and regulations in order that we may, if we follow these rules and regulations, that we wouldn't find ourselves in this lane of lust and greed and all the suffering that goes with it. So, love versus lust. Who's winning? Who's winning, y'all? Is it good, evil? Do y'all remember before when they had the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other? One is good, one is evil. What is that saying? That's saying inside of each and every one of us, brothers and sisters, is good and evil. It's in each and every one of us. I'm telling you now, the good is it comes from the spiritual side of you, which is your thinking. And if your thinking, your good thinking connects with your good heart, then your mind or your thoughts will control your body and only allow it to do that which is good. But if your heart has undergone all kind of frustrations and bad relationships and bad family members doing you wrong and this, that, and another, and you like, I don't care. It's all about me now. Forget everybody else. It's all about me. Then your heart now, in conjunction with your thinking, takes over. It takes over your thoughts. And now your thoughts, whether you know it or not, your thoughts control your actions. You have to think about something before you do it. Nobody does anything without thinking about it, even if it's a quick thought. Should I bust that person upside the head? Hell yeah. It's always a thought. But now, if if we are predominantly good and evil, this kind of reminds me of a story that somebody told me once. I want to share it with you. It's about a guy that got on a bus. Every day he got on the bus and took the bus to work. And every time he got on the bus, he sat down in the seat. And when he looked across the aisle in the seat across from him, there was always some ugly person sitting there. I mean, it wasn't the same person. Every day he got on the bus and he would sit down and he looked across the aisle and some ugly person was sitting there and he just bust up laughing to himself, just giggling and laughing. And then the next day he got on the bus, he sat down and he looked across the aisle, and the guy that was sitting across the aisle was shaking his head laughing. I'm gonna let some of y'all let that sink in for some of y'all. What's the moral of that story? When he got on the bus that day and looked across the aisle and saw the person laughing, that person probably looked across the aisle and was saying the same thing. Every time I sit in this bus, some ugly person sitting across from me. He looked across the aisle and there he was sitting. So that means what they call it, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And don't put nobody, you shouldn't put anybody down based on your opinion of them. You think that they're ugly, that's somebody that's gonna think you ugly. And that's the moral of that story. And I'm saying that to so that we can understand that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And the key word in this is the word all. All of us. Ain't nobody sacred. Ain't nobody spared. He didn't say everybody except the people that go to church. He didn't say everybody except the people that go to the synagogue. He said everybody except the people that goes to the mosque or to the what do they call the seminary, the Catholic Church? Not the seminary, but whatever the I forget what they call the Catholic churches. But everybody, all have sinned, and that's in Rome, the Holy Bible, book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 23. We all have sinned and fallen short. But again, who's winning? Up here, brothers and sisters, is it negativity that's winning our thoughts? That guides our thought every day? Is it evil, negative thoughts? You wake up in the morning and your first thought is, oh my God, my back is killing me. Oh, why is it so hot in here? Oh my God, I got to go to work. If if this is what drives you on a daily basis, this kind of thinking, then it's really clear why we need this these pleasure moments, these pleasure principles that have been given to us in order that we might be able to make it through the day. So we get up and smoke a blunt. That's going to make us feel better. Or you get up and get you a cup of coffee and smoke you a cigarette. That's going to get you through the day. We have to have something, some drug. Whether you know it, caffeine is a drug, nicotine is a drug. And we get up every morning and we have our fix. We get our fix of the drug so that we can make it through the day. Some people's drug is eating. They get up and just eat all day, all night. And that's the thing that makes them feel good. Some people, it's sex. But my point is sin. It's all sin. Anything done in extremely is a sin against not only yourself, but it's against God. So are the scales tipping to the good for you? Because that's God. Now, isn't this coincidence that God is spelled G-O-D and good is spelled G-O-O-D? That the only thing missing from God is an O that makes it good? And we always say God is good, right? God is good. You just missing the O. But check this out. What about the devil? Are your scales weighing to evil? Is evil winning in your life? Is negativity winning in your life? And is it a coincidence that evil is devil? I mean, devil is evil with a D added? Look at it. After the D, that's evil. D, evil. Is that a coincidence? I'm just saying. We have to look I only got 30 minutes and I want to spend those last 30 minutes talking about what God gave us and show you what he had gave us was commandments. Now, these 10 commandments, let me go to them real quick. Where they at? We're gonna bypass all of this and go straight to the commandments, y'all. We'll come back to that. That's something I want to share with y'all in a minute. Here we are, the 10 commandments. Now, God gave us these commandments. Okay, let's just look at basic law. Let's use traffic. They give us these traffic signals in order to keep chaos from occurring. But the traffic signals came after the chaos, did it not? People were running into each other, and somebody said, "Man, we need to create something that'll keep people from running into each other." God, in His first commandment, says, "I am the Lord thy God; thou shalt not have no other God before me." Now, hold on. I'm trying to find my little notes here because there was some other stuff I wanted to say. But basically, I wanted to say about that is that evidently God knew that there were other gods or there were other things that we would accept as a god. And so he gave us a commandment specifically saying that we can have no other god but him. Only the God of the creator of the heavens and the earth and the universe is the one that we claim. Now, if you don't know that there's other, now Satan, the devil, He is a mighty God. He's not the Almighty, but he is mighty. He is a God. So now, God, knowing that there's another God that you may find yourself having as a God other than God, he then gave us this commandment so that we would be aware that that there were other gods, and that two, that if we want to be his children and be his servants, that we have to accept him as our God and none other. Plain and simple. In order that what? Chaos doesn't come into play. True. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Now, these are preventive measures. God asked his children not to take his name in vain. What does that really mean? What does that mean? Oh, I know a lot of people say when you curse, like GD, God, that's taking his name in vain. Do we know what vain means? Here's the definition: having or showing an excessively high opinion of one's appearance, ability, or worth. Example of it: their flattery made him vain. God doesn't want you and I running around taking his name, puffing out our chest, talking about our God is the great God, and he's greater than Allah, he's greater than Yahweh, he's greater than all of this. He with your chest poked out, feeling that you are better now because you believe you get the God, you got the real God, and everybody else's God is fake and phony, and and that's taking his name in vain. Come on, brothers and sisters, let's look at it. Thou shalt not, excuse me, thou shalt keep the Sabbath day holy. Now, how many of us, well, a lot of us, even Toma, we out of order. We out of order. But if we want to talk to our people on a spiritual level, you know what they say, when in Rome, do as Romans do. There's no way that we could not speak to you all from a spiritual perspective if it wasn't on the day that everybody in this country considers to be the day of religious worship, which is Sunday. God says, keep the Sabbath day, Sabbato, which represents seventh day. In the Bible, it says, in the book of Genesis, God uh, did all his creation in 6 days, and on the seventh day, he rested, right? So now look at your calendar. You just look at the calendar. Because see, the devil, he'll give you the truth right in your face and then tell you, and then tell you a lie and then try to see which one are you going to accept. Are you going to accept what you see, or are you going to accept what you hear? What do we see? We see that the first day of the week is Sunday. Look at your calendar. The first day is Sunday. When is the seventh day? Saturday. So Saturday is the day, and even in Toma, we recognize that, and the Jews recognize it, because the Sabbath day is from Friday evening when the sun goes down to Saturday evening when the sun goes down. So it's basically the whole day of Saturday is the Sabbath day. Saturday is the day of worship. Saturday. And how many years, how many generations have we been worshiping on Sunday? Taking us away from God's commandments. And we wonder why God doesn't answer our prayers. I'm just saying, look, I'm trying to help us to see that there's a way out of this thing. There's a way to correct this. Correct this stuff. When you see where you went wrong, fix it. 4, thou shalt honor father and mother. Now, why would God want you to honor your mother and your father? And then we have to ask the question, do you? Do you honor your mother and father? Or do you only honor them if they turned out to be uh, uh, people in the society uh, that I guess people accept? You know, what if my mother was a prostitute and your father was a pimp? What if your mother and father was crackheads? Does that eliminate the commandment? What if your mother and father gave you up for adoption? Now, does hatred replace honor because of what they did? Does this commandment, is it null and void because you are in your feelings about what they did? You got to clean up. We got to clean up where we messed up. Hmm. Honor, high respect, great esteem. His portrait hang in a place of honor, a place of high respect. You're supposed to hold your father and your mother at with great high esteem. Great high esteem. You don't judge them. You do not judge your parents. You were not there. Those of us that are parents now, I learned I learned the hard way. You don't know nothing about the decisions that parents have to make for children, for their children, for the betterment of their children. You can't judge. That's only for God. God judges, not you. So I don't care what your parents did. I don't care if your parents was John Wayne Gacy. If that was your father, you're still supposed to respect the man that gave you birth. Respect the womb that gave you birth. Oh Lord, what happened again? I'm I'm missing something. Hold up, y'all. I got sidetracked here. Oh, that's what it was. Where are we at? Right there. Okay, why am I not seeing it? Hold up, y'all. I hope y'all are seeing my. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I know what's happening. Okay, so y'all are seeing the Ten Commandments. Okay, good, 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 good. All right. Thou shall not kill. Super clear. Do we think we follow this commandment? Are we obeyers of this commandment? Do we now does it say thou shalt not kill each other? Or does it say thou shalt not kill I mean, is it specific? Or this thou shalt not kill is a very general statement. And because it's so general, a lot of us want to try begin to interpret what God meant. Oh, well, no, see, it's okay to kill a roach and a spider and a fly and this, that, and it's all right to kill that. But we ain't supposed to kill nothing with that got nothing that God created But yet and still, does killing a person's spirit count? Killing a person's dreams, does it count? When you talk down to a person, oh, you dumb, you stupid, you don't know what you're doing. You need to go somewhere and hang yourself. You need to, you need to go. I mean, do we consider ourselves killing when we do things like that? I think we need to really look at that. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Do we? Out of pain, out of suffering, out of anguish, out of frustration, out of stress, out of fear? Do we? Thou shalt not steal. Man, I don't know if I told you all this story or not. Well, I know TOMA members have heard this before. You know that my son and I pulled into a gas station to get gas. When I got out of the car to pump the gas, I seen a wallet laying on the ground, and I grabbed the wallet. I went in. It's like $95 was in there. You know, my son was excited. He was like, "Oh man, Dad, we can split it." And I'm like, "No, this money belongs to somebody." And I looked through the wallet and I saw an ID that had an address on it. And so I told my son after I got through pumping the gas, I said, "We're gonna take this wallet back to this guy, you know, because he, he's gonna need this. And if you lost your wallet, you would want somebody to do the same for you." And my son just thought I was the craziest person on the planet. And that I drove out of the way. Now this guy, he stayed in Cicero somewhere, you know. I drove way out there to Cicero to return this person's wallet. And do you know, it wasn't even 3 days later, my son went on his prom. And at the prom, he lost his wallet. And do you know the next, when he came home and he told me he lost his wallet, and his mother and I told him, well, call back, call back to the place and see if they found it. Oh no, somebody took it. I know somebody took it because that's what he would have done. You see, but when he called back to the place, the manager, he said, "Oh yeah, 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 we found your wallet. We put it in the safe. You can come and get it anytime you want." When he got off that phone and told me that, I said, "Now you see how what goes around comes around. And what if we didn't give that man back his wallet? What do you think would have happened to your wallet?" This is a lesson to you. This is God showing you that when you do right, right comes back to you. But it's not easy to do right, especially when you're hurting, especially when you're in pain, especially when you're suffering, when you're stressed, when you're fearful. It's hard to do right. But this is what we have to practice doing. These commandments, we have to practice. This is the law that we have to abide by if we want to be considered God's chosen people and his servants. Thou shalt not bear false witness. I got 10 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. Bear false witness against thy neighbor. You know what false witness means, right? Lying. Stop lying. And your neighbor only means the person nearest to you. Who's near you right now? That's your neighbor. Don't lie on your neighbor. Do not let thyself lust after thy neighbor's wife. Oh, here it is right here in the commandments. God must have known that lust was going to be a part of our downfall. So he put a law right there, number 9, so that we if we would obey God's commandments, we wouldn't find ourselves in these domestics, these situations, what they call it, love triangles, all of this crap that we seem to find ourselves in. We wouldn't find ourselves in these things if we would follow God's commandment to the letter. There's only 10 of them. How many laws is it in the world? We follow the majority, well, most of them. The rules of the road, the rules of they even got rules for interviewing. Go in, look the person in the eye, give them a firm handshake. All these different rules, and we won't follow just 10 of God's in order to keep our sanity. And last but not least, thou shalt not covet, which means lust, thy neighbor's house. That means you shouldn't be desiring and lusting for something your neighbor got, his house, his farm, his cattle, anything that is his. Nothing. Well, I'm gonna stop sharing now, and I'm gonna get back onto the page here because I know it's been a lot of comments in here. I heard them pop up, but I couldn't see them. Wait a minute, what is this? Here's one. The webcam. Okay, I don't even know who this is. Hope they don't try to put no freaky stuff up. But anyway, that's my lecture, brothers and sisters. Love is not a physical thing. It's a mental thing. Think when you're talking about love, you need to think of it from a paternal situation. This is why they say the best relationships are when the two people are friends first, when they are like brothers and sisters, because that love that you have for your brother and for your sister, it's the same love that you should have for your friend, the same love you have for your mother, the same love that you have for God. All of these things are indicators as to what love really is. Now, there used to be, I got about 5 minutes. There used to be this newspaper article. I think it was in the Sun Times, where it talked about love, and it had this little cartoon character. And every day they would have a different uh, love is like. Love is a walk in the park holding hands, and they have the little cartoon characters in the park, holding hands. You know, love is a good pizza. You had the two couples sitting there eating pizza. Everybody had, they kept giving you every little thing about what love is. But what we're sharing with you today, brothers and sisters, that love is not sex. It is not. It never has been, and it never should have been. Sex is a form of reproduction. It's what you do to reproduce the race, to have children, not to get your stress off. Not what they call it. Uh, 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 what is it called? Makeup sex. Sex ain't just for making up when you have an argument. Does that sound like God's love to you? Come on, people. We are smarter than this. We are smarter than this. And we have to act and conduct ourselves accordingly. The scripture says that when you're not held accountable for what you don't know, but you are held accountable for what you do know. And once you once you know better, you should do better. All right, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for listening. I'm going to bring back Sister Ebony to close us out, and we're going to see you all Wednesday. Now, Wednesday, if you want to participate in the open forum, we're going to be openly talking about what we discussed here today, and you got some things you want to say, and that you want to get off your chest, and maybe you want to ask me a question, or maybe you want to just tell me, man, that stuff you were saying was crazy as I don't know what. Why do you think I should believe what you are saying, and not believe what everybody else is doing? You might want to ask me that question. I got an answer for you. I really do. So if you really want to be a part of that forum this coming Wednesday, and it's going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., really like 7:30, because we take care of a little business at the first part of it. But if you want to be a part of the forum, put into the comments that you want us to send you the link, for the Zoom meeting on Wednesday, and we'll get the link to you so you can be a part of that if you want to be a part of the conversation. All right, Sister Ebony, take it away. Take it away. Peace.
Thank you so much for joining us for our weekly Sunday WARSHIP service of the TOMA Nation. If you have enjoyed what you have heard today, please feel free to support our grassroots movement through a donation on Cash App at TOMANATION. Once again, that's TOMANATION. Please join us each and every Sunday from 12:30 to 2 p.m. here live on Facebook and on YouTube. We hope you have enjoyed. Our co-founders lecture today is Love Sex or is Sex Love? And if you would like to continue the conversation, please feel free to put your information in the chat on Facebook or YouTube, however you're watching, and we'll definitely make sure you get that link. See you next Sunday, family.
Hey.